We're live. Good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. We get together most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central, talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. Today, we're going to talk about one of the resources that actually we build into the startup program, but a couple of you have asked, is it available a la carte, standalone? And the answer is yes. So let's go ahead and go through cheapbusinessaddress.com. So cheapbusinessaddress.com describes cheap, credible, easy. It explains that a true business commercial address improves the credibility of your business and increases access to capital. What I think you and I know, but frankly, a lot of people don't know, is that most banks and lenders will not accept a residential address or a post office box or a shared address. Now, what is a shared address? A shared address means that you have the same, or the client has the same suite number as other clients. So the street address part, think of Trump Tower in downtown Manhattan, New York City. Everyone has the same street address, like 123 Wall Street or whatever it is, but each tenant has their own suite number. That's what we're talking about. We don't want to have a shared address. We need to have a unique suite number. If we have a shared address, that's typically red flagged, just as is residential, just as is post office box. So what we provide for free to clients that are in the startup program. But the question we're responding to in today's training is, can people get just the address standalone? And the answer is yes. And it's right here. As far as what's included, it includes three things. It includes a unique address with the mail forwarding. So then each week, our property manager, typically on Wednesdays, and today is Wednesday, of course, forwards the mail. So mail forwarding is included. Secondly, full documentation. Most lenders now are looking for a document that reflects the lease agreement. So versus just saying, oh, I have a good address, everything's fine. In most cases, they actually are now looking for a copy of the lease. So we provide that. And that includes the acceptance letter, the landlord's lien waiver, the guarantee agreement, all those elements that lenders are typically looking for. So full documentation for the address with the mail forwarding. And then what's really nice is where we bought our office building, it is in the geographic area for the Chapman Fund. The Chapman Fund provides from a minimum of 30 to a maximum of 250,000 to start and grow small businesses. So let me pull my notes back up. So cheapbusinessaddress.com is where people could come access it. Super simple. Again, this is included for free in the startup program, but it is available a la carte, which is what we're discussing today. And so back to our notes. So location matters. Not all lenders operate national. Some operate in certain regions, some in certain states, and so forth. So when we talk about the Chapman Fund here, I'll move this over. When we talk about the Chapman Fund, you have to have a business that is based in that taxing district. And of course, that's what we're offering. So that is an attractive attribute. Quick turnaround. People often ask, well, how quick can I apply for funding? Our goal is within one business day, 24 hours. So from the time that someone comes over to cheapbusinessaddress.com, fills this out, our goal is to be applying for funding in one day, one business day. Now, again, Chapman only goes up to 250,000, so we'll have to look somewhere else if the client needs more than $250,000. But we can stack offers. We could do 250,000 from Chapman and then go elsewhere for others. This is really a great resource if you have someone that's on a really tight budget. So if they can come up with $100, because the cheap address program is $99.99. So it's less than $100. So if they can scrounge together $100, they can get these benefits: the address, the documentation, and geographic access to the Chapman Fund. It's a really simple process. Essentially going to the website, you can see the link here, and I can click on it for you so it pops up a new page, and then they just fill it out. It's super simple, super simple. So who has any questions, comments, concerns on the cheap business address? So again, it is included in the startup program. So if we go over here and go to the Chapman Loan Program, the address is included. We provide the address for free in the startup program. The point today is if they want it a la carte, then they can get it a la carte. Katori asks a good question. Let's say the business is elsewhere. Well, that doesn't mean that they can't get an address here. So we could either form a new business or we could make the address of an existing business here. It's not uncommon for businesses to move. Think about many businesses. For example, in the small town I live in, Walmart has moved 3 times. So over the decades, they grew bigger. They went to the super Walmart and then the super Walmart, whatever. So it's not uncommon for businesses to move. So don't think that that's a barrier. So businesses can move, and they could move to have a good address that provides the benefits. All right. Samuel's asking about this compared to like a Regis or a WeWork. Yeah, so there are other players that provide addresses, but what's important to recognize is a lot of times those addresses are shared addresses. So the same suite number is given to multiple businesses. That doesn't work. We need a unique suite number. And so that's why this works, because it's a unique address, not a shared address. And then also, if you go to Regis or WeWork or those national players, they normally are not going to provide a full document set for the lender. And that's what we're including, is a full document set, which is typically needed. And then, of course, another difference between the WeWorks and the Regises and such is that we're providing geographic access to the Chapman Fund. They are not. There are no WeWorks or Regises in the geographic area to qualify for the Chapman Fund. So we kind of have a lock on that, if you will. Okay, so let me go back. All right, and so Doug's asking it, yeah. So with the startup program is really the way to go. For most clients, the startup program is our bread and butter because it's providing an entire scope of services and resources, deliverables, if you will, that's needed to have a fundable business. So I'm with you, Doug, that this is the way to go. However, Doug, if you run into a client that doesn't have the willingness or desire to enroll in the startup program, we could certainly start them on just a cheap business address. But Doug, you're exactly right. This is the way to go because we're addressing the entire spectrum of what's needed to have a fundable business versus just the address, the documentation, and the Chapman Fund. All right, so that answered Katori's question. Dr. Davis asked, can they apply for the Chapman Fund day one? Yes, yeah. So that let me pull back up the notes. Our goal is 24-hour turnaround. So if not the same day, the next day that they can apply. So again, this isn't meant to be a distraction. Our primary focus, of course, is helping people with the startup business funding package. When we applied for the grant, received the grant, this is our bread and butter. And if you're not very familiar with it, I encourage you to go to chapmanloanprogram.org, watch the video. There's a ton of, move this over, ton of resources, great information. But what we're talking about is someone just wants to stick their toes in the water versus the full startup program, then they could start with just the address. And then, of course, we've been talking about the landing pages. So to pull this together, so the funding proposal to online, every one of you should have a free landing page. If not, you need to get with us so we can resolve that. But the free landing page, the landing page for the free funding proposal is a great way to start people who don't trust you yet enough to actually enroll in the startup package. Because the startup funding business package, it's actually $5,000. There's a grant match, which covers half of it. So it reduces the client's portion to $2,500. So they're getting $2,500 grant allocation day one. They're paying you as the distribution partner the other $2,500. Then they get the scope of services. So it does have a cost. If people don't trust you enough to enroll in this, then what we've been talking about is start them with a free funding proposal. No upfront cost, no hard inquiries, no minimum credit score to participate, no minimum time in business to participate. That way we can get them funding offers, get money in their pocket, then they should trust you. And then many of these people, most of these people will likely slide over to the startup program. Because if what we want's business funding, we know there's certain elements that's needed to have a fundable business, and that's exactly the scope of deliverables. And then today we're talking about a little bit of a different approach, is that if you would like to start them with the cheap business address, we can start them with it in lieu of or in addition to a free funding proposal. All right. And so let me pull back. So Carrie says she doesn't have her landing page. So we need to figure out why you don't have a landing page. So give us a call if you would. Anyone that doesn't have your landing page that should look just like this, free funding proposal, of course, we can trade out the logo. Give us a call after today's Zoom and we'll get back with you and figure out why you don't have a landing page, because everyone should have it. It's free. Don't charge for the landing page. All right, so does anyone have questions? Big picture, our primary resource that we offer is the Startup Business Funding Package. It has a cost. So if people don't trust you enough or don't have the financial ability to pay, what we've been talking about is bring them in for a free funding proposal. And so that would put money in their pocket. So now they trust you and they have the liquidity to turn around and then go into the startup package. You're paid off of both. You're paid $5,000, which is 5 points of the capital raise, guaranteed 100,000 capital raise. So you're making 5 points for each person that comes to your landing page, at least 5,000. I know that's not a lot of money for many of you, but it's 5,000. And then once they're funded and they trust you, then most likely they're going to come over to the startup business funding package. You're normally looking at around 25 to 26,000 per client here. Where does that come from? You can come down to under the About Us and Resources. You can go to Module 4, and we talk about the economic model so you can see it. So often it's a two-step process. Free funding proposal, then we move to the startup program. Today, we're just clarifying that there is an alternative that you can bring them in for this, and they get these benefits day one. All right, Karen's asked about the logo. So what I meant to say is if you want your logo here instead of this graphic, you can provide us your logo and we can remove this and we can put your logo in. That's what I meant, Karen. You don't have to do that, but it's a standardized page, but we can change the logo to yours if you wish. So what's the big picture? We're here to help improve financial literacy. A lot of people don't know what you know. A lot of people want funding to start or grow a business, but they don't know how. So a big part of what you and I do is we educate. If you want to drive people in for free funding proposals, it's super simple. Just get people to your landing page and we take care of everything afterwards. You make $5,000 a pop, not bad. Our typical referral partner is doing this once a day. So again, it's not big money, but 5,000 a day times 20 days in a month, we're at 100,000. So it's fair income, but I know it's probably not what you're used to making. The startup program has more moving parts. So if you're comfortable, then you can get trained. And we offer free training, free certification. It's right here. So we encourage all of you that's going to offer the it's going to offer the startup program, get certified. It's free, 5 modules to go through it. So if you've not done that, we encourage you. But I know some of you just want simple. Simple is getting a free landing page and just refer people into it. You have no responsibility for supporting or servicing the clients. Make a minimum of 5,000 a pop. So that's simple. If you wanted then for those when they get funded, then you could turn around and offer them the startup program if you wish. That's like an upsell if you wish, if you will, and that increases your income. But if you're going to offer the startup business funding package, you really should become certified, which is free here. Okay, and so I'm getting a request for the phone number. So our phone number is right here. But remember, our phone number is also on the website. So in Chapman Loan Program, here's our phone number, right? And then on the agenda today, I'll put it right next to it. There's our phone number. So it's answered live Mondays through Fridays during office hours. So call us if you need assistance. And Jeff says, yeah, 100,000 a month is credible income. I know a lot of you are big hitters, and so I don't know what money you make. It's really none of my business. Our proposition is let's work together, let's help others, let's build financial literacy, and let's put an extra 100,000 a month in your pocket. And so that's very doable. How do you accomplish that? Get your free landing page, just refer in one a day, one a day. We'll show you how to do it. There's many different ways to generate awareness of your landing page. Probably the most consistent approach that we've seen has been Facebook marketing, and we have a gentleman on our team that'll train you how to do that. They're spending $5 a day for Facebook ad spend, and they're generating 5 to 6 qualified leads a day, and they're closing over half. So you don't have to do it that way. That's one great way. We have people that are in positions of influence. We have a number of bishops that are distribution partners, so they're able to go out to their congregation. You can get referrals from faith-based leaders, from bankers or others. I mean, that's really your expertise, how to create awareness. But you drive them into your landing page, you make the $5,000 a pop. All right. Karen says, do I have the page where the training is? Yeah. So chapmanloanprogram.org. And then here's the introduction to the training. And then here are the 5 modules. Anyone can go through this. There's no cost. There's not even advanced registration. So super simple. So with that being said, hopefully you see we have a lot of tools and resources to do 2 things. Help small businesses build their financial literacy and get funding and put money in your pocket. We're almost through May now. We're almost done with May. So we want to finish strong. But the clear goal is for every one of you to make at least 100,000 in June. Not too good to be true. One a day. One a day. Refer in one person a day that comes through your landing page. They're guaranteed in writing, contractual guarantee that they're going to get at least 100,000. They could get more, but the minimum they're guaranteed is 100,000. You're getting 5 points of that. So thus you're getting at least 5,000. So if you can just, in your mind, I know you're busy and you're juggling all different things and work and life and all that, but just plan on at least one a day coming through your landing page. Take weekends and holidays off. That puts you at 20 times 5,000, put you at that 100,000 level. It's not too good to be true. It's not outlandish. Every one of you should be doing that in the month of June, but of course we want to finish May strong. So with that being said, if you need assistance, you know our phone number again. It's here. I also had it on the notes today, which is here. So I put it side by side, and we're here to assist you. Let us know if there's any assistance you need. We'll see you back tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Have a great day. Bye-bye.